A perverted, unfeeling, callous, and abusive pet owner, the Padiham animal abuser and torturer, James Warne, intentionally left his dog to die slowly from starvation, over a 7-day period, in Colne. Distressing photographs depict the deceased bull breed, Tank, cuddled up in a bed with a toy teddy under his paw, at a residence on Oak Street, in an emaciated condition. At the time, he was under the care of James Warne, who confessed to discovering the dog deceased after using narcotics and failing to return to the flat for 7 days without any remorse for his deviant actions. An RSPCA officer who responded to the location had to utilize a torch due to the absence of electricity in the unit. The court was informed that RSPCA Animal Rescue Officer Connie Brown visited the premises on December 18, 2023, and conversed with an individual who claimed to have discovered Tank deceased, stating that James Warne had been caring for him for roughly 2 weeks. In her written statement to the court, the officer said, "I entered the building with my colleague, which was a communal entrance flat. The property had no electricity. The living room was untidy, 3 empty dog crates could be seen, one of which had a large hole in the side. Food was present in the dog bowl, but it looked old. I used my torch to enter the bedroom, which was also untidy. A white bull terrier could be seen on the bed, partially covered by the duvet. I fully uncovered the body. The condition was very thin, the ribs and spine were visible, and the dog was curled up with a teddy under his paw. Tank's body was removed from the house by the RSPCA officer and later seized by the police as evidence. The dog was examined by a vet and found to weigh 12.6 kilograms, 27.7 pounds, and given a body condition score of 1 out of 9, with 1 being emaciated and 9 obese. His ribs, lumbar vertebrae, pelvic bones, and all bony prominences were evident from a distance, and there was no discernible body fat and obvious loss of muscle mass. In her written statement to the court, the vet said, "Tank will have felt weakness and debilitation, having a severe lack of energy. This will have been uncomfortable and severely impacted his everyday life, ability to ambulate, to obtain food or water and play. Such emaciation can cause mental suffering through having a constant hunger that is never fulfilled. He deteriorated to the point of death, which would have severely compromised his welfare and caused unnecessary suffering, as his body slowly would have shut down. In humans, death is caused when 35 to 50% of the body weight is lost. This has proven to be similar in animals. Studies have shown that when food is withheld, dogs will survive for 15 to 38 days on average. With free access to water, it can be assumed it will take 2 weeks to 2 months for a dog to die purely of starvation. In this case, I cannot be sure water was provided or if food was provided intermittently, therefore the duration of these failings will be a minimum of 2 weeks, however it is likely longer given the evidence presented." A post-mortem was also carried out which concluded there was no pathological reason found for Tank's emaciated state, and it was most likely due to prolonged severe energetic imbalance over a period of weeks. James Warne was interviewed by RSPCA Chief Inspector Susie McAuliffe about what had happened. He said he had put down food and water after 7 days but hadn't returned to the property for a week and then found Tank dead. James Warne admitted he knew that the dog would have suffered during that time and he should have been there for him. Magistrates, who also ordered James Warne to carry out 15 rehabilitation activity requirement days and pay costs of £300, said Tank was in a disgraceful state and was dependent on Warne to look after him. Speaking after the sentencing hearing, Chief Inspector McAuliffe said, "This was an extremely upsetting case to investigate for RSPCA officers. The images of Tank huddled up on the bed with his cuddly toy are heartbreaking. James Warne showed a complete and utter disregard for his welfare, seeming to get a thrill from his suffering, and his callous lack of action led to this poor dog's inexcusable suffering and death." James Warne, 39, of Green Lane, Padiham, was given an 8-week prison sentence, suspended for 12 months, when he was sentenced at Blackburn Magistrates Court on May 9 following an investigation and prosecution by the RSPCA. He had previously pleaded guilty to 2 animal welfare offences. He was also banned from keeping animals for just 5 years. It is imperative that James Warne is not left in charge or alone with animals or children.